Welcome to the Manifestation Pod. We're Sam and Louise, two ordinary mums living extraordinary lives.
Every 2 weeks, we're diving into a new well-being, self-care or self-development topic that we've used to manifest a life of joy.
We want you to join us on this journey. We are all about building a community of people who are ready to do the same, manifest their best life, one step at a time.
So grab a cuppa, get comfy, and let's get started. Good afternoon, this is Louise and Sam with the Manifestation Pod. We are on season 2, episode 5, potentially.
Potentially, maybe 6, I'm not sure.
Oh gosh, really? I was thinking maybe 4. Who knows? Have a look.
We're here anyway.
Tell us, we're here. And today we're going to talk about oracle cards, which is very exciting, but we'll just, as ever, do a little catch-up first. I'll go first, if that's all right with you, Sam. I'll do my little catch-up. So it was my birthday on Friday. So I spent last week just doing birthday celebrations. It was a lovely week. I went out on Tuesday. I went for a big walk, did 9.5 miles in a complete Louise fuck up. I'd also arranged another walk with someone else on Tuesday night and completely forgotten about it. So I got home from a 9-mile walk, absolutely exhausted, could barely move my feet. Had to pick Charlotte up from school. Realised I had to go and pick some curtains up. So I thought, right, I'm in the car, it's fine, I'll go and do that. And then I got home and my friend Carrie messaged me saying, are you still okay for tonight? Shall I come around at 7:15? And I was like, oh my God. But I've not seen her for a couple of weeks, so I just thought it'll be fine. So we just had a very quick walk. So Tuesday was all about exercise, basically.
Nice. And was it sunny and lovely then?
It was. Excuse me. I'm very choky today. Yeah, it was an absolutely gorgeous day. Did the hills. It was a bit of a hike, actually. Nothing too strenuous, but yeah, 9.5 miles. Didn't mean to go that long, but we did. So that was really good. And then Wednesday, what did I do on Wednesday? This is going to be a really boring podcast of me just going, what did I do this day? But I went out Wednesday night, went to the pub with Amy, had Thai food, had a Thai curry, which was amazing, and then did a pub quiz. That was quite good fun. And then Thursday I had a birthday tea at my mum's, because you're never too old for that, are you? Never too old for a birthday tea. Friday I did Foodie Friday with Charlotte at our local food festival. Saturday, I did kind of jobs around the house and went out for a meal on Saturday night. And then Sunday, I went to Manchester with Sarah and we had a shopping day and we found the best bookshop ever. I can't wait to take you there. You're going to love it. Grade 2 listed building, coffee tables in the middle of the bookshop.
Wow, that sounds
not separate. It was gorgeous. Wanted to go for ages. It was really, really lovely. Dead warm in there because you know me, I like it to be quite toasty. Lovely. And then we went shopping. Had a great day.
Sounds like a good week. A very good run by run, day by day.
You know exactly what I've done every single day. Every single minute of every single day. Yeah, it was fab. It was a great week.
Oh, I love it. And many happy returns for your birthday last week.
Thank you. Oh, and do you know what? I got a message off you in the morning. Amy rang me first thing singing, standard, of course she did. But then I thought, everyone I will speak to today who rings to wish me happy birthday, I'm going to say, no, I want it in song.
Yeah, do you know, I sent you a voice note for like the first time ever on your birthday because we've been voice noting about our intentions and it felt so much nicer than like my usual lame text. It felt much more lovely. And I know I didn't get to see you or anything, but just that voice connection felt much nicer to do on your birthday.
Yeah, and I got a few actually voice notes in song verse. And then, people rang me, but I had I was laying in bed, I had a bit of a lie-in. Charlotte brought me, bless her, she said, do you want bacon and eggs in bed? And I went, yeah. And then she went, how do you make that? And I went, do you know what? I'll just have a coffee. It's fine. So yeah, I did a little bit of a leisurely morning on Friday. Yeah, and I was just on the phone, people singing to me. It's fabulous.
Oh, it's lovely. Do you feel like there's a bit of a revival of like voice calls? Not massively, but maybe in the form of voice notes. I feel like there's a slight revival coming.
Possibly. There's not many people who I text
Mm,
conversationally. All
yeah.
my texts are usually, what time are we meeting? Are we meeting at 7? Are we eating first? Are we eating after? It's all very practical and efficient, as you'd expect from me. I'm not one for long, hey, how are you? By text. And if I was going to do that, I'd probably ring. I'd much rather have a conversation.
Yeah, yeah, me too. I just find there's like a few more friends recently that I'm connecting with via voice note. And like, I'm here for it. It's really
Yeah,
nice.
it's definitely better. And I think voice notes are a happy medium, isn't it? If
Mm,
you've not got time for a conversation or you don't want to kind of encroach on someone else, you don't know what they're doing or whether they've got time for a conversation. But I'm finding, I think between the podcast and my job,
mm,
I'm on the phone constantly. So I really rarely ring people at night. And I miss that. I've got a few friends who I'm really close to, but I only see them when I see them. We very rarely have phone conversations anymore. And I really need to, funnily enough, I was thinking this morning, I really need to up my game with that and have like Tuesday, for example, I don't work on a Tuesday, have that day where a Tuesday night I can ring people because I've not been talking all day.
yeah. Because remember when the babies were little, we used to be on the phone for like hours at night sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, I think part of that as well is when the babies are in bed, you've got all night to yourself. Whereas when you've got an 11, 12-year-old who goes to bed sometimes the same time as me, she's supposed to go at 9. I go around 10:30, 11, but very often she's 10:30 and I'm tired at that point as well. So I don't get much evening to myself anymore.
True. Yeah, true. It all
Yeah.
changes all the time, doesn't it?
Yeah, it definitely does. But interestingly, because me and you did the voice note, there was one morning, not last week, the week before, and I think it was Friday, I voice noted about 4 or 5 people. And I got real, oh my God, it's just absolutely started bouncing down. It's been glorious all morning. And I just thought, oh my God, what's that noise? It felt like the ceiling was coming in. It's that loud and heavy. Bizarre. I sent voice notes to about 4 people and they were all sent them back. I was like, oh my God, what a lovely way to start the morning. Start the morning. Thank you so much. And for your positive vibes. And I wasn't. I was just like, hi, how are you? Let's do something. I've not seen you for ages. So yeah, maybe there is.
Maybe it's our voice noting and our intention setting. There's certainly like a different level of connection in hearing your voice.
Yeah, you do feel like you're having a connection with someone, don't you,
Mm.
rather than reading a text message.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, interesting aside. Anyway, my week has been good as well. What have I been up to? Stuff and nonsense. I did a yoga nidra at a retreat yesterday, which was
Ooh, where did you do that? Was it local or?
no, well, in Chesterfield, so not too
All right.
long. So in a different studio and people that I hadn't worked with before, but I'd met through a networking event, and it was a winter and stillness retreat, so right up my street. And it was just gorgeous. Joe and Maddie, the ladies that ran it, just created this beautiful, welcoming space with like nourishing, warming food and like a bit of introspection, looking at what you want to achieve over winter in terms of looking after yourself and your rest. So Yoga Nidra fitted in perfectly and it was just lovely. I was just really like grounded and yeah, just really in the moment. You know, when you're really in the moment and ready to do
Yeah.
something, and it's in a new place and you don't know what it's going to be like. But that didn't even occur to me because I was just like, I'm so ready to do this. Like, it was just lovely, really good. And the feedback that I got from the ladies that did it was amazing. Like, really,
Oh, wow.
yeah, it was lovely. There was one lady who had chronic fatigue syndrome, and she said every time she has a nap, she wakes up feeling really fatigued. And when she came round after the Nidra, she felt zero fatigue,
Wow.
which I thought was like the biggest compliment ever.
Yeah. You said that. You told me that about it's different from a nap in that you feel quiet. And do you remember when I did it? I was going to say the first time, but I think it was probably the only time I've ever done it properly. I was the same. I was on the sofa. I do like an afternoon nap on the sofa. And when I woke up, I felt really energized.
Mm. Yeah, because that's what it does. It is more restorative than sleep. It's scientifically proven. But it's really lovely to like hear that direct feedback from someone you've never met before.
Yeah.
Really, really special. So yeah, I loved doing that yesterday. And Saturday night, I went to bed really early. I had a bath before I went to bed and just
Nice.
really set myself up for it. And I was just, this is my way of doing weekends, just early
Yeah.
nights, cozy things, doing yoga nidra. It was just, yeah, it was lovely.
It's definitely the right time of year for that, isn't it? Funnily enough, I had a bath. I think it was a weekend before this weekend, and the same. I just felt like I was living the dream. I had it in the day as well, which felt even more luxurious.
Luxury, absolute luxury, a daytime bath, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
Special. And Friday night, I did something really exciting and unexpected. I did aerial yoga and went upside down and did a handstand.
Wow, I've not even heard of aerial yoga.
Yeah, so it's using those hammocks like I use for yoga nidra that you lie in. They can be used to flip you upside down, for want
Wow.
of a better word, and really easily. Like it's really accessible for someone who doesn't really do like the movement yoga and isn't particularly stretchy. You just sit on it and it just propels you upside down. Like it was really easy to do, surprisingly. And it was so much fun. I was just like belly laughing from just being upside down and being amazed at what I'd done. It was brilliant.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to do it again. And it really gave me a push to be like, I really need to do things like that I would never normally do, that scare the crap out of me, but could actually also fill me with joy. I need to do more of that.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Especially physical things like that I just wouldn't attempt for whatever reason. Whether I think that like I haven't got the strength or like I'm too heavy or, things like that I just think I count myself out from. I need to do
And
more.
actually, if you couldn't do it, somebody else will tell you that you couldn't do it. You know, if you physically couldn't, if there was any kind of danger, the person in charge would be like, actually, it's not for you. So you just need to believe that you can do it, or even not have a thought on it and just maybe try it and see what happens. It is very exhilarating to do something that takes you out of your comfort zone physically. I did parascending years ago, which is a balloon at the back of the boat in the sky. And I'm scared of heights, and that was scary.
Yeah.
But when I was up there, oh, it was so magical. It was so quiet. It's so quiet up in the sky. Yeah, so it is good to kind of push your boundaries. I really want to go paragliding. I've been once and it got called off because of the weather, literally when I was stood on the edge of a cliff. But I'd love to do that. I bet that makes you feel like that. You know, you're flying. It would be amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'd be well up for that. I reckon 2025 might be the year of doing more things.
Yeah.
But even just small things, like I think I'm going to book this week, like bounce fitness, like the mini trampolines that you do fitnessy things to. Always wanted to do it, always got close to booking it, and then just thought, nah. And now I'm like, I'm just going to try loads of little things like that. Even.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm in a big, like, joy seeking moment in my life. I think that cord cutting thing I did the other week, I know we're not talking about it on the pod today, we'll talk about it another time, but I had this cord cutting ceremony a few weeks ago, and whatever it did, one of the main things is it's given me very easy access to joy in a way that I've not had for as long as I can remember, almost like a childlike joy. It's just like on the edge of everything. So even the smallest things are just filling me with loads of joy. And I wasn't a particularly like sad person or without any joy before it, but it's just like the joy is like there, really easy to access. So yeah, I'm all about the joy.
Love it. Why wouldn't we be? Why wouldn't we be? Absolutely.
Well, I mean, we talk about joy a lot, don't we? We had a joyful break from the pod, and we focus on joy quite a bit anyway. But Yeah, I don't know what it is. I do almost feel like I'd describe it as a childlike innocence or access to joy. It's very interesting.
Yeah, it is.
Long may it continue.
Absolutely.
Anyway, shall we talk about oracle cards?
Yeah. So you've been doing this for a while, and I know very little about it.
Yeah. So it's
So
quite
yeah,
exciting to do together, actually, because
yeah, definitely.
apart from the odd little chat about it on our walks, I don't think we have ever really talked about it together. And I am by no means an expert, but I have been sort of practicing with my own oracle card practice for a couple of years. Always been super intrigued. I think ever since I started going to like women's circles, oracle cards always featured, and I was really intrigued for a long time. And then when I did my yoga nidra training, as part of that, you kind of explore what else you're interested in, what else could feature as part of your practice. And I was kind of intuitively led to oracle cards. So I did a little bit of training in them just to understand them a little bit more and to help me to help other people read them, really. So, oracle cards, what are they? Good question. I'll describe them as a way to help guide you to your own intuition. So, they are usually pretty colourful, they've got lovely messages on them. Sometimes they come with a little book, and they are just a way for you to tune in to yourself. So you don't really need someone else to read them for you, I would say. You just
Okay.
need to practice yourself, get used to them. But what they are really good for is giving you any kind of guidance. So you can ask a question of the oracle card. You can, if you haven't got an exact question, you can kind of ask for anything that you need today. Tell me what I need.
Okay.
Um, and they just really help connect you with what you need and what's going on within you as well, the more and more you practice. Um,
Well, that's interesting. So how are they different from tarot cards then?
so they are very different in that I'd say they're more accessible, they're easier to interpret,
All right, okay.
and they've not got that like ancient backing or ancient history that tarot cards have got. So a lot of people create different decks of oracle cards that haven't been around for hundreds of years. They just create them because they're intuitively led to. So I'd say the
Oh, interesting.
difference are kind of newer and easier to read for yourself. I have done a bit of like tarot card reading for myself, um, and I just can't get on with it because it's quite complex in its interpretation, in its layers. And I would say it's just not for me. I'd say tarot cards are less accessible for yourself to read. You can certainly train in it, and I've had some wonderful tarot card readings over the years. But I think for me, they're just a bit too complex to read for myself. Um,
Yeah, okay. I've got tarot cards. Not whether I've even told you this ever. We've ever talked about tarot, but I got some tarot cards years and years ago. I was about 18 and I've still got them. And I use them for, and I haven't for years, but if I've got a question that requires a yes or no answer,
hmm.
I can pick a card and interpret the meaning from that. And I used to use that. My mum used to like laugh at me and go, "Oh my god, she's going to get tarot cards out." But if I ever had a big decision to make, like if I got offered a job and I wasn't really sure whether I wanted it, or if I remember on one very important occasion whether I wanted to break up with someone, I used the tarot cards to help me make that decision. So I've dipped in and out. I mean, I don't know enough about them that I could ever do a reading for anybody else, but I can ask a simple question, yes or no, and kind of get the answer. But a lot of that, inside the answer, don't you? Sometimes I think certainly when I was younger, I just wanted a bit of affirmation from some other source that I was doing the right thing. And that seemed as good as any to make those decisions. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. How have we never talked about that?
No, I don't know. I'll show next time you're here. I'll show you my tarot cards because you'll laugh. I got them free in New Look magazine.
New Look at a magazine.
Is you
Oh,
looking at the thing? Are you thinking about the shop?
yeah.
No, it was a 90s, 1990s. There was a magazine called New Look. I not even remember there was a magazine called New Look, but I'm just picturing the tarot cards now, and that's what they've got in the box. And
Oh,
they came with a little booklet
yeah.
on how to interpret them. Yeah, I've still got them.
How interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
never knew that. Well, I think you'll like Oracle cards then, because it's the same kind of guys. Like whether I pick the cards for you, which I will today just for ease because we're on Zoom, or you pick them yourself. I find now after like doing a whole year of sharing Oracle cards in my Nidra groups, that you always get either the cards that you needed, or the cards that you want. And sometimes, excuse me, you get the cards that you don't know you needed, but you do need, if that makes sense. So
Yeah, it does.
sometimes they say the things you don't want them to say, but need saying. But for whatever reason, however it works, clearly it's a kind of energetic practice. Just the
Mhm.
right answers are guided to you in the moment. So you can choose any kind of card deck. I've got a few, and the ones I'm going to use today, because they're super accessible and just easy to describe, are the Super Attractor deck from Gabby Bernstein. And obviously, it's on theme for, law of attraction and manifestation,
Absolutely.
which we're all about. I've got one, two, three, four, five other card decks here. My favouriteest in the world are the ones by Rebecca Campbell, like the Starseed deck. Ones like that come with a book because their interpretation can be a bit deeper. But yeah, this one today doesn't come with a little book because they're a bit more obvious and more graphic based. Um,
Very excited.
oh, this is exciting. Let's see what happens. We haven't like rehearsed this or like done this before at all. So
No, not at all.
either way, so buckle up.
Okay.
So when you're doing it, you can pull one card, you can pull two cards, you can pull four, whatever you really want to do. There are like ways to pull them, a bit like tarot, like you can pull them in a cross and all of that. Um, what I tend to do is follow this four card spread called Wheel of Wisdom, which is what we will do today. So you pick four cards, and the first one will answer what you can see about the question that you're asking or what you want from the cards today. The second card will show you what you can't see about the question. And the third one will tell you about a grounded action to take from it. And the fourth one will give you an indication of the outcome. So
Love it.
we go through them in that kind of order. So what I do when I'm doing it myself and for others, just shuffle the deck of cards, split them into three just to give them an extra shake up, and then I just lay them out a little bit. Oh no, no, I hold them to my heart first of all, and just tune in with them, tune in with myself as I'm pulling them for you. Have a little tune in with you, and just ask the cards for like the highest good. I cleanse my cards as well to make sure that there's like no negative energy attached to them. So I just burn a bit of Palo Santo and cleanse them and just make sure that whatever comes out of the cards is for our highest good today. So we'll just ask that of them now. And yeah, I'll pick four cards. Okay. So when I'm picking the cards, I'm just literally looking at them, placing my hands over them, just intuitively being guided to what card wants to be picked, basically.
Okay.
I will pick the four cards. Trying not to have too much silence because, people can't see what you're doing on a podcast.
Okay. Yeah. It's a shame we're not on like YouTube or anything. We could actually watch this. That would be more exciting for the listeners. We are where we are.
Yeah.
Live, for God's sake. We only decided to do this, 2 hours ago? So yeah, this is where we are.
We'll roll with it. So are you asking a question of the cards? Do you want to reveal the question if you are?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know whether I ask a question or not. Um, I think my question in its purest form is, will everything be okay?
Okay. Yeah.
I know that's very vague,
All
but
right.
that's it, really.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's you've got to be guided by what comes up for you intuitively. So if that's what comes up, then
Yeah.
that's all good. Okay. So the first card that comes out then, which is the what you can see about the answer to this question, is it says directing my focus onto what's thriving creates more of what I want. So directing my focus onto what's thriving creates more of what I want. And it's got some lovely flowers and things on the card. The images are gorgeous on these cards. They're really, really nice. So, yeah, I don't know if that means anything to you on what's on that card.
Yeah, it kind of does actually.
Mm. I mean, energy goes. What is it? Energy goes where focus flows. No, the other way around. Isn't it?
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Like what you focus on is where the energy goes, isn't it? So
Yeah.
focusing on more of what you want is where you thrive, isn't it?
So I think what I'm thinking about, just to give a bit of context, is I'm having, and I've not spoke to you about this, but I've got stuff going on at the moment. And I'm having, what should we call it? A glow up, but an internal glow up. And I'm making quite a few changes, which is absolutely for the greater good. But while I'm doing it, it's throwing up stuff that I'm having to deal with. Um, and it's hard. It's not as easy as I thought it would be. In fact, it's not as easy as I thought it would be. I didn't even think that this would happen. I didn't realise the changes. I'll talk about this in detail in another episode. But yeah, I thought something that was fairly easy and simple and just something to enhance my life, I'd just do it and that would be it. But it isn't. It's throwing up all kinds of stuff that is quite deep, quite emotional, quite life changing, and I'm having to navigate it. I feel like I've just opened a Pandora's box that I wasn't even expecting to open, and now it's open, and I'm just dealing with the fallout of it. And I feel very ill equipped to do that. So, yeah, focus, thriving on more of what I want is definitely. And I kind of thought this morning, I didn't sleep particularly well last night, which is very unusual for me. But I woke up thinking, okay, this isn't brilliant, but it is what it is. And I just need to ride the storm, basically. So that's what I'm doing. Head down. A phrase of Henry's, head down, arse up, crack on. And that's exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah, exactly. And focus on what you want out of it to
Yeah.
help you thrive within it. Yeah. And the next card is interesting for that, and for you in general is, and it says true manifesting is about receiving what is of the highest good for all.
Ooh.
So I love like all the colours are in tune. Like you've got all the same colours in these cards. I'll send you a picture of them together afterwards.
Ooh, yeah.
Um, for me, that one indicates, and based off what you've just said, is that as shitty and messy as this middle bit is, you're manifesting what's good, highest of good for everyone involved,
Yeah.
no matter
And
how.
yeah, again, I do know that, but it's just quite nice to have confirmation from another
Mm,
source. Um, yeah, that's interesting.
yeah, I do find that when I'm, reading them, when you get those ones that just make you think, oh, I knew that. I just needed some other words or some other thing outside of me to just confirm it. It just
Yeah.
makes you feel so much better.
Yeah, it does. And I believe in this, if you want to call it manifesting. I don't know what the collective term is for all of it, all the stuff we do, but I believe in it like people believe in God. So I know it works. And I know that when you're on the right path, you can feel it. And then I know all this, but still navigating it is just tricky and difficult. Yeah. So it is nice to kind of see that and just think, yeah, it will come good.
Yeah.
It is good. There's nothing bad going on. It's just my mind is having to, yeah, deal with things that I would much rather keep locked away.
Yeah. Yeah. It is hard. I know exactly what you mean. Sometimes when I pull a card as well, like it makes me cry because I'm like, oh, that's exactly what I needed to hear. I don't know where
Yeah,
it came from, but it can have that kind of power in it.
yeah. I like this.
It's fun. Okay, so this one is a grounded action to take
Oh,
in regard to the question. And it says, when I surrender my will to the care of spirit and the universe, I attune my energy with an ever present stream of well being. So I'll show you it again. All the red colours, like it's all, which I think is just a really lovely sign that, these cards are connected and
yeah.
meant to be together. And I think that one is all about letting go, surrendering.
Again, very, very relevant. So part of what I was thinking about, I'm not very good at talking to people about I hate the word problems, but problems. I would far rather listen to someone talk about their problems, or I don't like to be low vibe and I don't like to offload onto people, and I just feel thoroughly uncomfortable doing it. But Amy rang me this morning, first thing, because she sent me a text saying, "Are you okay?" And it was because I went swimming and left my phone at home. And she'd rang me and I'd not answered. And because I'd not rang her back within an hour, which is the norm for me, she'd sent me a message. And I rang her up and I was like, oh, God, yeah, I'm fine. I just went swimming. I forgot my phone. Da, da, da. And then we started talking and I just burst into tears. The poor girl's trying to work. She was not expecting this morning. And once I started, I couldn't stop. And I just, yeah, it was so weird. And she was so like lovely and caring and being a friend
Yeah.
and Googling while I'm on the phone to her and just, generally being lovely. And I just thought at the end of it, one, I felt so much better having a cry.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Mm.
I'm not a crier at all. Don't like crying. I wanted to cry yesterday, but I held it in. I was actually out at the time and I just had a moment and I just thought, oh my God, I feel like I'm going to start crying. And I thought, don't be so ridiculous. You can't, I was on a train at the time. I thought, you can't cry on the train. And then I came home and I just completely squashed that feeling and thought, I'm going to make myself busy. I cleaned the house.
Yeah.
I did things to not do that because I don't like crying. And then today, I just feel like I let go and I felt so much better afterwards.
Yeah.
So much better. So, yeah, there's definitely something. I do not surrender easily at all to anyone. Don't like showing any kind of vulnerable side at all. Even with like my nearest and dearest, I don't like. I can talk about something in very practical terms if I've got a problem. I
Yeah.
could say to you, for example, like, oh, I've got this that I'm dealing with and I need to think around ways to deal with it and I need to do some self-care, and I can talk about it like that, like I'm talking about it now, but I can't say this is how it's making me feel and use words that make me feel, quite frankly, icky.
Yeah. Oh, there's a whole lot more surrendering needs to go on.
There probably is. I've got a lifetime of, well, not even holding it in because I don't have much to whinge about or moan about or feel like this about, but yeah, there's just a few things that have been suppressed just a little bit too long.
Yeah. And there's that. I don't know if it's in one of these cards or in Gabby Bernstein's book, but she always says, like, when you think you've surrendered, like, surrender even more. Like,
Oh.
if you let one bit in, there's just layers upon layers of surrendering because there's probably loads of walls that we've put up and stuff that we've kept in that we shouldn't and we need.
Yeah.
let out and be vulnerable to it, even if we're just vulnerable with ourselves. It doesn't necessarily have to be with someone else, but just letting it out and letting it go.
Yeah, and that is true. I don't even have those feelings with myself. There's certain things that as soon as I go down that road in my head, I cut it off. I go, I can't think like that. I don't know where that will lead, that kind of thought. It's
Mm.
not nice.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there are some things that, or sometimes even where, you know, we shouldn't let it go on our own. If it feels like that's scary to do it, then, that's when we need some support to.
Yeah. I think it's just a lifetime of subconsciously not thinking about bad things. Why would you? Why would you spend time thinking about bad things? It's much easier to just go, oh, I don't want to think about that. I want to think about something nice.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's true, isn't it? I was reading something this weekend about like shadow work and how it's just not really been done because it's seen to lead to a bad place. Whereas now the thinking is more that like we need to work through the bad feelings and let them pass because
Yes,
they've got to go somewhere, haven't they?
absolutely. And I kind of came to that realization while I was having a swim this morning.
Mm.
Even before I spoke to Amy, I was starting to feel better because I felt so shit last night and I couldn't sleep and things were whirring in my mind, things that I didn't want to whir in my mind. And then when I got up this morning, I kind of felt a bit lighter and I thought, right, okay, so it's not nice, but I do know if I just plow on through, something good will come of it.
Mm.
And actually, thinking about it and saying it out loud isn't as scary as I thought it would be.
Yeah, it never is it? It's always bigger
No, it
in our
isn't.
heads. Always way bigger and scarier in our heads.
Yeah, it really is.
Mm.
Yeah. Anyway, what's the outcome, Sam? That's your fourth one, isn't it? The outcome.
So, this is good. The universe is always conspiring to support you, guide you, and lead you compassionately towards the highest good.
There we are. So we've got to do what we know we've got to do, which is just sometimes not that much.
Exactly. And know that you're not doing it on your own. You're supported by.
That's so interesting, that card. So all the cards you've shown me have got red in them.
Mm.
So if you just look at your deck of cards, because I can't see them, is
Yeah.
there other colours of the rainbow in there?
Oh, yeah. Like, look, there's loads like greens, purples, blues. That's why I mean it's unusual to get all
Oh,
the same colour. Really unusual. And it usually represents like a theme, to have the same colour of
that's
everything.
interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it really is. It really is. And I think a lot of the theme that's coming up for you is like manifesting for good, but being supported whilst you're surrendering as well.
Yeah.
That's what I'm seeing in them.
Well, we'll do a follow up to this, and in maybe a month's time, when we're away from Christmas and things have settled down,
Yeah.
maybe we can talk about this and we can talk about how right the cards were.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. See how it lands with you. I'll send you a picture of it so you can like
Yeah.
come back to them as well and keep looking at them.
Yeah. It's a little visual reminder.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And maybe think about getting yourself a little deck.
I was thinking that when I saw, because I didn't even realise, because tarot cards are all the same.
Yeah.
The deck might look prettier some than others or themed, but they're all the same. The cards are all the same, but they're all completely different, aren't they, then, from what you showed me?
Yeah, completely different. So I've got like this moonology deck, which is obviously just all moon based. I've got another Gabby Bernstein deck, The Universe Has Your
Love
Back,
it.
which are gorgeous. And I've got these really cool ones called the Wisdom Keepers, which are just gorgeous, really like quite deep and in depth them ones. But yeah, and I've got these other interesting ones. These Archangel ones, Archangel Raphael. Make me giggle a bit because they're quite old. I bought them secondhand. They've got kind of a Christian edge to them, which is not really my vibe, but the cards that come out of them are really interesting, like about health and stuff like that.
Oh, really?
Um, for instance, let me find a good one. Like hydration is one that comes out of that. And sobriety is another one as well. So yeah, there's all sorts of different decks of cards for all sorts of different themes. So every week when I'm doing my Nidra classes, I just kind of pick a deck that I think feels relevant, and yeah, I use them all the time and just for myself at home when I'm just looking for a bit of clarity or just to connect in with myself, really.
I love that. I'm definitely going to get some. So apart from online, because there's certain things I don't like buying online because I like to touch them and feel them and look at them. Where could you buy them from? Not online. What kind of shop would sell oracle cards?
So any kind of crystal-y shop. There's two really good ones in Stockport, actually, because I know you work in Stockport. There's an
Yeah.
amazing one in Underbank called Hidden Gem, I think it's called.
It must be hidden because I walk down there every day and I don't know where it is.
Yeah, it's on the little hill that goes up to the marketplace from Underbank, which no one ever really uses. But the woman in there is lovely. I got my Rebecca Campbell card deck from her last year, actually, on my birthday.
Oh, right, okay.
She's got some lovely decks in there. And then there's that other spiritual shop in Mersey Way in Stockport.
There is. Yeah, I've been in there.
Yeah, so that's very Stockport-based advice, but for anyone else, yeah, any kind of crystal spiritual shop. There's loads of them about now, isn't there? But a lot of places carry them. A lot of bookshops, actually. I went to a bookshop recently, and they had a load of oracle cards in. So,
interesting.
Yeah,
I'll have a look. It'll be a nice little shop. I'm going to do a little shopping trip next week. I might get myself. I'm getting Christmas presents. Might get myself one.
Yeah. Funnily enough, on my Christmas list is about 3 or 4 sets of oracle cards.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because that Rebecca Campbell one, she's got like 3 or 4 others. She's got this rose deck, she's got an ancient stone deck, and another one that I really, really want. So, yeah, when anyone asks me, I'm just like, get me these.
Love it.
So that's a little introduction to oracle cards. Let's see where that goes with Lou. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Get on with them and incorporate them. And yeah, if anyone's listened to this and has got any questions or wants me to pull a card for them, I'd be more than happy to. I sometimes do that on my Instagram page now with Nidra. Every now and again, do like a global, like, pick a card kind of thing. It's just
I like that. Yeah, I bet.
It's good to do. So yeah, that's oracle cards. I hope you enjoyed that. I'll try and link all the things that I've referenced today, if I remember them all. But if I don't, send us a message. And yeah, there we go. We will see you in a few weeks' time. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for joining us today on the Manifestation Pod. We hope you feel inspired to start creating the life that you've been dreaming of.
Remember, we're all in this together, and we'd love for you to be part of our community. So don't forget to subscribe, share, and connect with us on socials.
We're here every 2 weeks, so catch us next time with more tips and tools to help you manifest the life you deserve.
Until then, keep believing, keep manifesting, and keep living that extraordinary life. Bye!
Bye!